In this video, I'd like to introduce you to what I consider to be the best things to do in Galle, Sri Lanka. And stick around to the end for a few bonus suggestions you just might like to check out while you're right in this area. All right, let's do this. Sri Lanka, previously known as Ceylon, is an island nation in South Asia, just off the southern tip of India. The opportunity to experience Sri Lanka came up a few years ago, and there's no doubt in my mind that I'll be back, especially after all the great memories researching this video have brought up for me. I decided to stay in a somewhat touristy seaside town called Unawatuna, which I'll talk more about in a future video, but the much larger city of Galle is located just about 15 minutes away, so I knew I'd have to explore it. I hired a tuk-tuk driver named Mr. Prasanna, who was recommended to me by my hotel. I enjoyed my first visit to Galle so much that I actually ended up going there 3 times over the course of my trip. Whenever I travel, I almost always try to find out where the local market is, and if there are any interesting artisans, craftsmen, or local industries, such as fishing, that I might like to visit. Mr. Prasanna and I arranged to meet at 6 a.m. to drive to nearby Galle so that I could see the local fishermen bringing in their catches, which my contact at the hotel thought I would really enjoy, and needless to say, I loved it. Driving along the coast in Mr. Prasanna's tuk-tuk, we came to a small beach where dozens of men were scurrying around, dragging in boats, carrying baskets and crates full of fish, sorting, weighing, and auctioning off their catch to local buyers, and just milling about and gossiping with their friends. As I said, I spent 3 mornings at this spot, admiring the incredibly hard work these men put into their trade. Although Sinhala and Tamil are the dominant languages in Sri Lanka, English is fairly widespoken, but not so much amongst these men. So I walked around doing my best to smile and show my genuine interest and respect for what these men do. And at times I had Prasanna to translate. And we came out early, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and behind me you could see these men who are bringing in their catch. I'm gonna have to step back here, the sea's coming in. But I'm right on the water here, as you can see. Had a beautiful sunrise. Now the sun is up quite a bit, so it's a little bit hot, but before it was just gorgeous. And love to get out early morning and see this kind of action. Although hard at work the entire time I was there, quite a few of the fishermen were kind enough to joke around and have some fun with me, or simply to show me their catch and what they do. Just off the beach there are tables set up where they lay out and cut up the catch. And many of these displays made for some beautiful black and white photography, and I often love to really zoom in on the details, such as here. One man even took a few moments out of his busy day to stand for me to make some really nice photos of him next to his storage locker, which each group of fishermen seemed to have to lock up their things. Needless to say, I can't get enough of this type of travel experience and interaction with the local people when I'm on the road. And plus, it makes for some really nice photo and video opportunities. And this is why I chose to come back a number of times. People, weather, light, and situations change from day to day, and so coming back multiple times can make for completely different experiences, photos, and video. So I highly recommend doing this whenever possible. Okay, thanks for sticking around, and now here are some suggestions for additional things to do in Galle. When you've had your fill of seeing the fishermen and the fish market at the beach, take a quick ride to visit the Galle Fort. It's definitely worth a stop while right in this area, and it's situated on a peninsula and so surrounded by water, offering some really nice views. I'm here in Galle, Sri Lanka at the old Dutch fortress, and I got here early. I'm here for a period of time in the same town or the same area, and I wanted to get here early in my trip because there may be reasons for me to come back. I don't want to go to a place and find out at the end, when I don't have any other opportunities to come back, that it was a place that warranted coming back over and over again, or I waited and the weather was bad and I didn't get any nice shots or meet any great people. So if you have a period of time in a place, I recommend that you do some of these activities early on in the trip, so that if you need to, you can come back to get more and better shots, or you don't get skunked on the weather, something like that. So do these things early in your trip so that you have other opportunities to do them again if necessary. Next, I'd highly recommend a walk around the green market in Galle. According to my research, it's open every day from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Although it doesn't cover a big area, I had a great time interacting with the vendors, a few of whom spoke some English. Their displays were gorgeously maintained, overflowing with a variety of produce, and the light was fantastic for making some really nice shots of the workers and other people just milling about. Some of them were smoking cigarettes, reading newspapers, just doing what they do. To me, that's the best type of photo opportunity. There's even a small temple nearby that's worth walking through. Just look for a very large statue marking its location. It's worth mentioning that even though I visited all of these places on 3 separate occasions, other than perhaps at the fort, I don't believe I saw another tourist at all. I even stumbled upon a local couple having wedding photos made, and the man was kind enough to pause for me to make a quick photo of him in his wedding day finest. Well, that's all I have for this week, but before you go, make sure you check out my recent video called Tips for Traveling During COVID. I really think you'll find it useful. Last but not least, be sure to look for a link in the description if you'd like to purchase this t-shirt or any of my other designs at one of my online stores. There are lots of options, as I have pandemic, continental drifter, photography, and travel specific stores that you can peruse. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to check out my other ones here on the channel. Next, share it with others and give it a big thumbs up. And do let me know in the comments if you've ever been to Sri Lanka, and Galle specifically. Finally, be sure to check out my latest physical books on Amazon. They make great gifts. And remember, drifters, life's too short not to travel.